Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about the only way to stop procrastination. Okay, so if you've been struggling with procrastination and you would really like to stop doing so, then this video is for you. Okay, so the first point that I want to get into, and this is something that has really helped me beat my own procrastination over the years, is being able to create an exciting goal that is emotionally important to you when it comes to the things that you're procrastinating on. Okay, so let's say you're procrastinating on studying, right? One of the reasons why you may be doing that is because for whatever reason, the studying part of it is not very emotionally compelling to you. You don't have good emotional reasons and reasons why to actually do it. Okay, so it's important that you create a goal for yourself that excites you, right? It could be an exercise. It could be to do with exercise. Perhaps you want to, gain a certain amount of weight. Perhaps you want to lift a certain amount in the gym. Perhaps you want to run a certain amount of distances. Or you want to lose a certain amount of weight, perhaps as well. That's a big goal that a lot of people tend to have. So you got to create a goal for yourself that you're really, really excited about, that helps you get up in the morning to be able to do those things. And that's what's personally helped me, creating an exciting goal for myself, and feeling that excitement around it. And because it's emotionally compelling. So if you have a goal that's really exciting for you, that's a great way to stop procrastination. Okay. So another thing though about that is that the reason why it's important that it's emotionally compelling is so that it pulls you to actually want to do it, right? Because for whatever reason you're being pulled away to not do it. Okay, so you got to kind of build up some kind of emotion around this subject of whatever it is that you're procrastinating on. Okay, you've got to find a way to make it more interesting for you, more compelling for you, because for whatever reason you just don't want it enough. And because if you did want it enough and you was desperate for it, then you wouldn't procrastinate. Like if you was really desperate, like if you were starving to find food, right? And your goal would be to get food as soon as possible, and you'd do anything. You would go through rubbish bins to get food. You would eat grass maybe if you were that hungry. And we have to be like that towards the things that are important to us that we are procrastinating on. We have to get some fuel behind ourselves in order to push ourselves forward. So creating a good goal for yourself is amazing. It's a good strategy to use to help you beat procrastination. Now, it may be the case that you have to change some things up a bit. You may have to change the way that you're doing things, or maybe you need to cut back and do a little bit less, which goes into my next point, which is you have to start small to avoid overwhelm. Okay, because maybe the reason why you're procrastinating is because you've put too much on your plate and you need to cut back. Okay. There's a quote that I like by Jim Rohn, and it's about success and basically how you can be successful. And the quote goes like this: it's a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Now, as you can see, he says a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Not a whole bunch of stuff practiced every day. Not, really hard things practiced every day. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. Okay, so that's what I mean by cutting back. So if you've got a big to-do list, then maybe you need to cut back on some of those things, or maybe you need to spend less time on some of those activities, right? To begin with, just to help you build momentum, just start off small. Just start off by doing 15 minutes of something, like 15 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of studying, okay? And when that becomes easy for you, then start adding more time to that. Right? So after you've been doing it for 15 minutes for a month, then add on an extra 5 minutes, or if you're feeling really gung-ho, then do an extra 30 minutes. And what I found is when I've done the 15-minute rule and said to myself that I'm only going to do 15 minutes, especially on days when I'm not feeling too good, tired, whatever it may be, usually even on those days when I start to get going and I've only done 15 minutes, I can still do a little bit more. And if for whatever reason I can't do any more, then at least I did 15 minutes. Okay, so you got to see it like that. So just cutting back on what you're doing, because sometimes we can overwhelm ourselves and kind of overestimate what we can do, right? But the great news about that is that you don't have to stay like that. You don't have to do small things all of the time. Like, you can just start off small for that first month and then start to add more to your to-do list as you build momentum and you get more excited and you see your life progressing and you feel like you're actually getting there. Okay, so the next point that I want to get into is it's important to work on your most important task when you have the most energy. So your most important task might be the hardest thing you have to do that day. Okay, the most difficult thing. Or it could be the thing that earns you the most money, or it could be the thing that is most important to you just currently, right now, right? So do those things, the things that you're most likely going to procrastinate on, right? Do those things, or that one thing, if it's just one thing, right? Do that when you have the most energy. Like, if you're an early bird and you have most energy in the mornings, then focus on doing that in the mornings. If you have most energy in the afternoons and you're able to do so, like you don't have other commitments, like you don't have to go to work or anything like that, or perhaps it's something to do with your work, you know, if you have the most energy in the afternoon, then try and do it then. If you have the most energy in the evenings, try and do it then. If you're a night owl, then try and do it then. Okay, so try and do it when you have the most energy, because if you're feeling tired and if you're feeling lethargic, then it's very unlikely that you're going to you're going to go through with it. Okay, so especially if one of your excuses is tired, right? You're too tired to do something, you're too exhausted to do that, and that's one of the reasons why you procrastinate and you save it for another day. Okay, so it's really important that you focus on those tasks that you mostly procrastinate on a time of day when you have the most energy. Now, you may need to experiment because perhaps you don't know when you have the most energy, right? So what I would recommend is just, taking note during the day of when you seem to feel most excited and more alert, right? And just pay attention to that, okay? And then realize that, okay, this might be the time of day that is best for me, and then try and work on your most important goal, the one that you're procrastinating on at that time. Okay, so the last point that I want to make, and this is super, super important, okay, and this is all to do with like your self-esteem and making you feel good about yourself. The thing is, procrastination doesn't make you feel good about yourself. It feels good putting it off in the moment, but later on you tend to regret. I don't know about you, but I certainly do. I tend to regret. If I procrastinate on something, later on in the day I start regretting it and wishing that I had done it, or wishing that I'd followed through and things like that. Okay, so it's really important that if you are procrastinating is to know and to understand that it's not going to be good for your mental health. It's not going to be good for your self-esteem. What will make you feel good is taking action. What will make you feel good is not procrastinating. Okay, so if you want to feel good about yourself, if you want to feel more confident, if you want to feel more alive and more courageous and just better about yourself in general, then don't procrastinate, because it's not going to make you feel good. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.